Good morning, friends and fellow farmers. Good. No, we're good. And let me check. It looks like I didn't steal anything. That's good. Our narcolepsy did not lead to us thieving again. How much are we done? Why did this stop? Oh, did I? When I jumped on it, are you kidding me? I reset it. Oh, bummer. That's such a. Okay, fine. You keep doing what you're doing. I'm just gonna go and make some other goodies here. That's fine. That's fine. Well, this will actually give us a fair number anyway. Let's do this. Oh, that is not what we're wanting. No. I do not want light wooden. That's not it at all. No. Light wooden, white wooden. That's a big difference. Tile, 2 times fine lumber and glue. Oh, fine lumber. Oh, I'm such a goose. Okay. Well, I'm tempted to just buy some more stuff. Let's see, what else do we want to get doing here? Yeah, I mean, I could just buy this. It's not expensive. Maybe I'll do that, and then I'll just hold off. Yeah, let's do that. Because I want to get building here. I like that you completed the recipe. Well, did I? Oh, it's the first day of summer, too. Okay. We're going to let that continue cutting away. Love my inventory. Just keep on going. Good day. Okay, so what do we want to do here? Ooh. I like those. I like the onions. And I'm going to get like 50. And we'll get some eggplants. Those are nice. Guess we'll get some tomatoes. What else should we get? What are these? I like the carrots. Carrots are fun. That's interesting. Those made noises. Did the other ones make noises? I don't know that they did. Okay, and you know what we're going to do? Also, let's... get rid of all the nature I've got in my pockets. What else do I got in there? Oh, I got some mushrooms in there. Alright. Well, let's go and lay down a bit of floor while we're over here. And then we'll go and plant some crops. Let's go use a door. Like, we're respectable people, is what we are. I don't imagine this is going to finish this. Not the pace we move. Although the doubles I'm going to put down. Never know, it might do it. Now somebody had noted recently, they said they were glad they found us, but they said there wasn't a lot of English language Staxel players. I found that really surprising. And I haven't actually looked to see who's playing this game. As you can imagine, being a parent and whatnot, I don't have a heck of a lot of time to watch other Let's Plays. Very little, in fact. I used to watch more when my kids would watch more, but my son mostly watches muted Rocket League Twitch. For the clear, obvious reason of why it's muted. But he watches a lot of that because he's a fanatic, I think is the word. And so I don't watch a lot of regular Let's Plays anymore, which means I don't really know what's going on in the Let's Play world very well at all. I know that when people got into too much editing, that also kind of killed any ability for me to watch. There's lots that don't, and those ones I should still. I've watched some Dead Souls 3 playthrough recently because I would like to be able to play that game. That's a game I like. I don't know. I like melee combat. For all the non-violent games I like to play, I don't mind weird melee combat games that are clearly like not about humans. That are just like, about monsters and things like that. Somehow I set those aside. Those aren't offensive to me. It's maybe a contradiction, but I really like those games. So, there's something about the twitchiness of those games that's really appealing. So I've been trying to, I want to learn how to play that game because I'm terrible at it. I'm like abysmally bad at it. Like first boss, dude where you pull the sword out and have to battle him. I smashed my head against that a bunch and then just never got past that point. I was like, wow, I could get up to it. I was fine. Felt like I had the controls down and then just got minced and thought, well, I'm not good at this. This game has a reputation for being difficult for a reason, which also makes me kind of want to persist with it. But anyway, it's quite an amazing game. And so I was watching something about that. That is the last thing I've watched recently. I do not watch Let's Plays. So anyway, yeah, I was a little surprised when they said not many people were playing Staxel. Or English language Let's Players. So I don't know what the crowd that's popular with or what. Or why. Again, I'm blown away at why this game would not be more popular. It seems like it's just ideal for Let's Playing. Oh, right, we can't plant there. Like it seems like if there was a game that was built for Let's Playing, but again, it could just be the lack of narrative drive up to this point. Maybe once they get the story going, it might attract players. I don't know if there's people who play Minecraft and people who don't. If there's a divide there, like maybe there's still some. I just don't know. I don't know what it would be. I could see the open nature of it could have been maybe a bit intimidating for some people. Because you either have to, I'm not going to always be talking about stuff that's happening in the game, so you either got to be, just chatty in general and be fine with maybe some silence. And so I guess if you're like kind of tips and tricks, or you're wanting to kind of a high intensity, if that's your jam, if that's what you like to do, this game might be difficult for those players. So I could see that as well. I can't believe we're having to hoe more. That's amazing. That's pretty cool. I feel like we're kind of like getting into the big farm game now. What do you think, Haji? Are we big farmers? Is that what's happening here? I think it's now we have so much money, because we haven't been buying furniture for Jamie lately, that we can actually just like do whatever. It's rather liberating, isn't it? Now I can't remember with these tomato plants if these are going to be on sticks and they're going to be a whole like headache. I don't recall. I'll shove those down there. And oh right, we got these. Now these grew in summer. Okay. So these bushes, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make a little. Oh, maybe I didn't want to do that. Maybe I didn't want to do that. Maybe I just wanted to grow them all along the fence. Because that's kind of nice, isn't it? Wouldn't it be nice to have a little... Oh, try planting on tilled soil. Ah, gotcha. Okay. Now I guess we should probably throw a little slop of water down on all this. Perfect. These are all grown healthily. Good, good, good. So we've got some stuff that's going to, I see, churn over. See, I couldn't remember what the difference was between the two time periods, what grew in what month, season. We'll learn eventually. Again, I haven't paid enough attention, I feel like, to growing in this game. To farming, I should say. I haven't grown enough. I haven't grown up enough. But anyway, yeah, I imagine that maybe when this game gets farther along, but I really thought there would be more of an early player base, and there's so much to do in this game, even for an early game. That's, I think, maybe, I don't know that enough Let's Players, if it became apparent how much there was to do, and kind of how, it's not, the quests are building based quests, and maybe that was, there's not like a doing quest, not like it's less achievement focused, but maybe that was difficult for some people. I really don't know. Anyway, I'm curious. I feel for the developers, because it's hard to imagine to pick up some momentum with this. There was a good post I was reading. I want to say Natalie Lawhead. I can't quite remember her name. A developer who's posting about her own games and just saying how, she put it out there and just said, hey, in the past however X number of years, I made a grand total of $5,000 doing this. And that's intensely disheartening, because you can imagine the hours people put in to this. Making $5,000 off that, like, it's a labor of love. You can say that all you want about anything, and it's true that nobody necessarily, I've had musician friends that complain about not making a living in food, and it's like, well, yeah, nobody's entitled to necessarily make a living doing the thing they want to do specifically, but it would be nice if you could, and it's difficult to even get to that point, I think, in games. Well, in anything. But I think the one difference is that you can be if you not, unless you want to be like a touring full-time musician, music is a thing you can pursue as a bit of a part-time pursuit. It can be, and given the hours and whatnot, game design I imagine to be a brutal thing to attempt to do on a part-time basis. I still need to get the rest of that honey. I have to buy some more jars. I'll put an order in and we'll just get them for the next day. It's interesting that it's holding on that for me. Okay. Now, yeah, I didn't have any. Well, I kept some apples. That's funny. Okay. Yeah, and we'll stop there. I won't worry about anything else. Alright, so we got our animal goodies. What else do we need? Oh, we've filled that up. Well, let's head into town and we'll sell these. And we'll see how that, because I think we had our wood still going away, crunching up. So we'll reduce some of it to fine lumber, I suppose. But yeah, at any rate, and the Monument Valley, the well-known mobile game, they had posted their revenue, and their revenue numbers are just nauseating in comparison to what most game developers would. I think the Monument Valley 2, what was it? It posted, that 16 people worked on it. And I think I want to say they look like they made profits of like 8 million or something, if I'm not mistaken. If you look at their development costs were like 2 point something, and their 500,000 in marketing, which they questioned actually whether or not that, it seemed like people were asking, was it worth it? And they're like, well, we tried it. They were kind of wishy-washy on an answer, but I get the sense that it didn't necessarily didn't necessarily pay out. So 2 and a bit million, and it's yeah, that did well. That's an example of a highly successful game. But for every successful game, you've got your people like experienced game developers like Jeff Minter and his forays into mobile early on, and finding that he couldn't even recoup his costs on some of these things. So it's a pretty, and we're talking experienced game developers. So it's hard. I think our expectation that games are games are going to be just cheap and freely available is an unfortunate one. And I think it goes for all of the arts. And I think game design is like it is an art. And I think there's this misplaced idea that everything should be cheap and free. And I don't know, that early internet expectation, I think partly ruined that. I don't want to let all of this go. I'm going to go sell my goods while we're waiting. But when, through the 90s, when music suddenly became reduced to being something that was just a freely available thing. I mean, I know musicians that also don't buy music and like just listen online, or have like used to, scoop everything for nothing and like just pirate stuff. And that's like weird contradiction, that like we want things to be inexpensive / free, but we also want artists to survive, and we get angry about that. It's kind of like the idea that we want to have a great society, but we don't want to pay for taxation. It's that same kind of weird contradiction. Like we don't want to deal with any of the consequences that are we don't want to deal with we don't want to deal with like the the complications and everything that are going to somehow impede our lifestyle, but we want justice and fairness for all at the same time. So it's a difficult contradiction that we often live with. These windows, oh right, they go down right onto the... Man, I always forget. My goodness. So I'll have to get our windows out here. Now, I don't know. I guess I'll go with, these ones again. It's kind of nice. This house isn't going to be too big. I like my random, decision. Like, how big should this house be? Well, about yay. Yeah, about yay. That seems like about the right size. But it definitely, hearing about how little, game developers often make, outside of the odd success, outside of like The Witness or games like that, or Monument Valley, there's, gajillion little games that don't make hardly anything. And, just paying the bills is a lot to ask. And so when somebody spends 2, 3 years, 5 years making a thing on their spare time as a passion project, or dumping everything into it and then having it just have a bad launch week, just timing. Maybe there's something else that happens in the news and knocks them out of the running. I can't even imagine having committed that much. It's a large commitment, and bigger than a lot of other creative projects, I think. Or can be, depending. But support your indie game developers. So in the day of the days of the Steam Summer Sale and things like that, it makes you feel a little like, we need like less games and we need to pay for them. That would be nice. And not just giant AAA mass market titles, but awesome indie titles that make us smile and laugh and feel good. Things like this. All right, and on that note, I think we're going to go to sleep, and tomorrow we'll finish up the floor first thing and get feeding our animals, collect all of our stuff. There's lots of little things to do. Oscar's place is coming along. I think it's going to come along quite quick at this point. I do feel like I want to put a second floor in, but I think it's going to be pretty straightforward. All right, we will see you all next time. Till then, bye-bye.